Paul Gover from Car Sales, what's your take on TCR?
Well, the big surprise is how good it is. I have heard lots of promises about lots of things over lots of years in motorsport, as you can imagine. Also heard a few excuses over the years. But no, it's kicked off well, it's moving on. And the best thing about TCR, there are smiling people in the pit and paddock.
Look, it's fantastic, and I think the racing product that we saw on Saturday at Phillip Island, I mean, that was just... It was a fantastic motor race. There's no two ways about it. So the category's brought something different to the Australian motorsport landscape. There's a lot of question marks about where it was going to fit in and what role it would play in our motorsporting landscape, but I think it has fit in somewhere. It's provided a place for a lot of very good professional race car drivers to come and ply their trade, and we've seen some great racing already.
There's a real buzz in the paddock. The racing's really close and entertaining. I think that's what people want, really, is that there's a bit of contact, there's a bit of argy-bargy, a bit of entertainment, there's overtaking. On Saturday we had someone go from second to last to second. It's quite unpredictable. I think that's what really appeals at the moment, is that the racing, you just don't know who's going to win.
I love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. The variety of cars, the closeness of the cars, and the racing itself. Where we've seen that in Sydney, particularly on Sunday with the two back-to-back races. Doesn't give you a lot of time to do stuff in between, and then they get out there and go for it.
I enjoy the variety of manufacturers involved or brands involved, and also like the fact that it is an affordable formula and it's giving a lot of guys a chance to show their wares. Like, who on outside of a very small group would have heard of Dylan O'Keefe before a few weeks ago, and he's making a lot of people sit up and take notice. So at the moment, I'm pretty positive.
Close, hard, competitive wheel-to-wheel racing. I think the sport's been crying out for that, especially in a sprint racing format in Australia lately. Love the mix of cars. I think the variety's terrific. And the diverse group of drivers that the series got in its first couple of rounds has been outstanding.
You know, it's given a lot of young guys an opportunity to show their wares in front of a crowd and, you know, in front of an audience where, you know, they haven't previously done. You know, Dylan O'Keefe and also Jimmy Vernon, as well as, you know, many others. And, you know, I think it's got a bright future in Australian motorsport.
It's made a great start. The number of cars right off the bat is very impressive. The second round of the series, and we're into the high teens, probably in the low 20s for the next round. Racing's been good. There's already been some standout performances from some of the drivers. There's an eclectic bunch of people in different stages of their careers. So far, everything's impressive.
Does it fit into the Australian motorsport landscape?
It does, but not in the way that a lot of people think it is. I mean, some people will say that this is going to take over from supercars, and it's not. It's not going to take over from Carrera Cup, and it's not going to be a challenge to any of the established series. It's going to be something else. It's going to be its own niche, and it's going to be a place where people who've got a lot of experience can come and build their own teams, or someone who's 21 or 22 years old might be looking to make a career here in Australia and maybe segue to overseas.
I think it's got a niche, and it could be a really broad niche as well. And as we've seen with GT racing, the ability to bring in other brands that can't get involved in other categories, I think that's a strength. And even if they're not in with big works teams or manufacturer involvement, just having them in the sport's better for everybody. Great for the series as well.
And does it have a space in the busy Australian motorsport landscape?
Oh, for sure, most definitely, particularly on the back of the announcement of going to New Zealand under the one management group. That's just fantastic for the sport. And the fact that it's separate from our other elitist category, I'd love to see it stay that way. We don't want to see it all merge into one. We need that alternative rather than a rival.
Yeah, I think it does. You're right, it's difficult to know. There's always going to be some conjecture about where it fits with supercars, but I think this is definitely a platform for juniors. You can use this as a stepping stone to go to all sorts of touring car racing. You could even jump from karts into these. So I definitely think it's got a place. So let's hope it continues.